When you think of printing, I can imagine that you are thinking of one of these. Well, as much as these delightful things provide continuous enjoyment, when they work correctly that is, it's time to experience even more enjoyment through the world of printing with the Kokoni EC2. Now, I love tech and gadgets, but I have to admit I have never tried my hand at 3D printing. So when Kokoni offered me their new flagship product, it was an opportunity not to be sniffed at. But what is so flagship about the Kokoni EC2? Well, 3D printing has been around for some time now, but if you are, like me, a beginner, then be warned because there is a steep learning curve. From the initial setup to the printing process itself, it can be quite overwhelming. But what the EC2 offers is a more relaxed, easy and gratifying experience. In fact, Kokoni say themselves that you can be up and printing within 5 minutes. Interesting. But let's get stuck into what you actually get in the box. Well, you get one EC2 3D printer with printing filament, one power adapter, one set of handy tweezers, these things which I've no idea what they are, and a user manual. And let me just stop you there for a moment. Because that is it. That's everything. You literally do just plug it in and print. No coding, no building, no fuss. But before we dive into some model making itself, let's take a closer look at the EC2. First things first, for such a small device, this thing feels like a beast. Its build quality has a solid air of premium. It's rugged and yet easily accessible with plenty of features. Because don't forget, this is designed for the younger generation, for families to gather around and excitedly wonder what they can print next. The front houses a cabin door with a magnetic catch to help keep those children's fingers at bay, and on the inside you have what you'd expect from a 3D printer, such as the nozzle and printing plate. But there is even the additional bonus of a miniature camera, which is so politely tucked away, I can't even show you it. But once more, the camera is there to reinforce that this 3D printer is aimed at the younger audience. Although I must admit myself, it's great to see your ideas being printed in real time. Okay, it's only in short 5-second clips, but still, it's curiously satisfying. There are also LED lights that illuminate to basically tell you what your new toy is up to. And then moving on to specifications, well, the Kokoni EC2 has a single 0.6mm nozzle that can print a layer of thickness between 0.1 and 0.3mm at a maximum speed of 100mm per second. The printing size is around 100 by 100 by 60mm and it uses PLA filaments. It works using the 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi signal. And finally, the dimensions and weight come in at 231mm in height, 189mm in depth and 302mm in length, with an overall weight of 3.2 kilos. But now it's time for the main event, so let's switch this creature on. And yes, technically you are up and running in 5 minutes like the box states, but first time users will of course need to download the Kokoni 3D app. And once you have registered with an email and password, then you just press and hold the little button at the back until it makes a noise. A short 60-second warm-up time later, and you can now publish your creations, which can either be found in the app, uploaded by yourself to the app, or downloaded from the web to the app. And there is surprisingly a lot of choice. Quite astounding really just how much is on offer, for not only a small device, but also for completely free. Navigating around the application is rather simple as well. There are plenty of controls and options, all guided via some cheeky pop-ups that you can just quickly dismiss if you don't want to read them. There are options for quickly looking at popular models, or maybe you want your name in 3D, or even a miniature bust. There really has been a lot of time and effort placed into making the app simplistic as well as approachable. You won't get lost whether you are an expert user or, like me, not an expert. There is also what appears, at some point, to be the endless possibilities of making your own particular photographs into a 3D model. But let me just explain that this is a beta feature of the app, and at present, well, it still needs a bit of work, as no matter what I tried, well, it just didn't work. You do have to take plenty of photographs at particular angles and heights, but don't be afraid, because once more this Kokoni app eases you through the process. Just a shame though, at the present there is no end product. Yet. However, that's enough of the possibilities, and let's just see what this thing can really do. Going with a penguin, why not? You can then see the approximations of just how long it will take in terms of either long, moderate and short. You also get the final dimensions. Pressing start and the app does its thing, which then makes the Kokoni EC2 do its thing. At first it was loud. However, I need to avoid because the actual printing process itself was a lot quieter. And so whilst that prints away, if you have some other chores that you need to get on with, then you can just keep the app with you to see what stage the printing is up to. And that is my first ever 3D print. Now, I'm not a psychologist, as you know, or an expert on 3D printing for that matter, and even though you can see that the quality is not exactly the best of the best, when I showed my 10-year-old son, he was quite literally amazed. And this is where I would like to personally congratulate Kokoni, because their mission of bringing simple, minimal, straightforward 3D printing as almost a fun toy to be enjoyed by the whole family, it's mission accomplished. So that model was something that my son could have, but what about something for the wife? Well, we have a cat and she likes reading, and thus a bookmark with a cat on it was the perfect answer. Being a lot thinner than the penguin, this bookmark was printed in a fraction of the time. Still around 20 to 30 minutes, but compared to the penguin, which took around an hour and a half, it's good to know that not everything will have you hanging around too long in anticipation. And here we go with the bookmark. And yes, something so simple. The wife was pleasantly surprised and, as well, quite amazed. And now, something for me. Well, I wanted branding. And with my channel name being MCPHONEY, I thought it would be good to have that on a keyring. Now, unfortunately, I ran into a problem here because I couldn't actually get MCPHONEY to fit on my desired choice of keyring. You can play around with a set number of styles for lettering, including the fonts, etc, but no matter what I tried, it just refused to play ball with that particular design. However, going back to the many thousands of designs on offer, I quickly found another keyring design where it did actually work. If not for the better. What do you think? But as much fun as this all is, let's get serious. The penguin is strong and sturdy, but doesn't have the smoothest of finishes. The bookmark is remarkably flexible, but how long will it last? And then the branded keyring, well, I'd say I wouldn't be surprised if that snapped within a day. But you then remember that this printer isn't designed for building bridges, helmets or rocking chairs. This is a small entry-level machine that can open up a world of possibilities for, say, the young architect in your family, the inventor, the mastermind. But most of all, it really is fun. And maybe I'm still in the brand new toy phase, but I've really enjoyed getting to grips with this, and more importantly, so has my son. And it's curiously fascinating to see the machine in action, churning out toys, keyrings and even busts, when all you have to do is just tell it what you want and then feed it some PLA. If you do want to expand your universe of creative possibilities and you own some CAD modelling software, then design away, and all that is stopping you is your imagination. Just remember to keep your imaginings to within the printing plate dimensions. So yes, this isn't a gadget model making device for the experienced 3D printing artist, unless you want one of course. But for the beginner, the enthusiast, or even just the curious, then the EC2 really is a straight out of the box little animal. And from what I've gathered in my getting to know you experiences with this device, is that it really is unnecessarily easy to use. You just choose a design, make any additional alterations, then let the machine do the rest. Even the filament changing itself is a simple process of just following the app's instructions and then switching over the big white box at the back. Overall, however, Kokoni does have a few creases that need to be ironed out in the app, such as ensuring the beta mode options work correctly, and it would be nice if photographs of animals, such as your pet, could be created as well. Just an idea. Apart from that though, well, it's small, it's well built, it's a joy to watch, and if you can think of another word for simple, then that is the word I would like you to use to describe just how simple it is to work with. But the most crucial factor to take on board is for whoever uses one of the EC2s, either on your own or sharing it with the family. It's not only that you'll be able to enjoy the moments, but now you can even print some of them out in 3D as well. And there we go, that is my quick review for the Kokoni EC2 3D printer. However, before I go, a quick disclaimer is that although Kokoni did send us this to play around with, the views expressed in this video are entirely impartial. I will also of course be placing links for this printer in the description beneath this video, and if you've got any questions or comments that you'd like to tell me, then please do let me know in the comment section below. But until next time, thank you all for watching, and I'll hopefully see you at some point very soon. Thank you.